What is going on, Ed? This is JD coming at another video from Redskins Rant. Hail to the Redskins. This will be a video real quick before I get started. Like, share, and subscribe. I want to get to 300 followers before the season starts. That's my goal. If I get to 250, I think that's like a mediocre goal. But better to aim for 300 and get 250 than aim for 250 and only get like 220. So, like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Redskins Ranter. Okay. Without further ado, I'm going to dive into it. I said last video I got this awesome shirt that really is something that really defines me. This shirt right here. I'm a big Batman fan and I'm a big Redskins fan, so I got something that combines both. I'm trying to incorporate this into my channel page somehow. So we'll see how I can do that. And I obviously got the black and white Redskin logo. That's my favorite version of the logo. Aside from that, just wanted to show you that this is just a shirt I got. I got it in Atlantic City, in the heart of Eagle Country. So I was actually surprised I found it there. So without further ado, let me dive into some of the topics today. First, Case Keenum has been named the starting quarterback for the Washington Redskins. I have no issue with that. They could have, honestly, just being honest, they could have gone either way. They could have gone with Case Keenum, or they could have gone with Haskins, and I wouldn't have been mad. Keenum has a little bit more of a grasp of the offense than Haskins does. He's played with number ones more, and I don't think Haskins has played with number ones. And here's the thing that I think is what's been hurting Haskins is he's played with number ones and he has a lot of turnovers. Not playing with number ones. He's only playing against number twos and with number twos, and he gets a ton of turnovers. So, I mean, I think he's played against the ones a little bit. They throw him in for a couple plays, but the bulk of the stuff has gone to Colt, and it's also gone to Keenum. So, and I'll reiterate a point, and this is someone was saying that, oh, we need to start him. Look at how many rookies have done well by starting right out the gate. Okay, for every rookie that starts right out the gate, I can name 5 rookies that they started too soon, and it didn't help. Okay, you can look at rookies that started right away. RG3, even though he got injured, was a good quarterback for us. Andrew Luck, even though he just retired, and I'm not going to talk about that. I mean, that's his doing. It's his choice. I mean, I don't know how I would act in that situation if my body keeps giving up on me and I have to go through a lot of pain and rehab. Though it's a lot of money, maybe it's got to the point where he just can't do it anymore. Maybe his family doesn't want to do it. Maybe his wife doesn't want to do it. Maybe he has a kid on the way. There's so many things that could be the reason why he just doesn't want to do it anymore. And it's his choice. I'm not going to judge the man for his choice. I mean, he made his money. And yeah, he did it at a bad time, but it's still his decision. I'm pretty sure the NFL, a lot of NFL teams are going to cut guys right before the season starts, whenever they're about to get their real money. Okay, we're going to trade Trent Williams for your own big bucks. That's the way it is. And I'll get to Trent Williams here in a minute. But I hear people saying, start him right away. We draft him, yada yada yada. I mean, yeah, there's good examples of playing guys early. Russell Wilson, which, when they started him, they had an elite defense, they had an elite running back, and Russell Wilson maybe threw the ball 20 times a game. He didn't exactly. That's not the skill set that Haskins had. Haskins is a gunslinger. Okay, Peyton Manning started him his rookie year. What happened? He led the league in interceptions. You can go through a bunch of them. Okay, there's a bunch of examples of not starting someone their rookie year that they ended up being great. Patrick Mahomes is the most recent version. Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers. Eli Manning, Tom Brady. So there's a lot of quarterbacks that didn't start right away that ended up being pretty successful. Okay? And I can go the other direction with this too and say that there's guys that did start right away that ruined their career. They ruined their career by starting them way too early before they were ready. Okay? As much as I liked RG3, even though he had a good rookie season, it got him hurt, and that ruined his career. Okay? He's a backup now. Okay? Starting Andrew Luck early, he was great, but hey, he got sacked over 100 times his first 3 years in the league. So it didn't help him much. If he just sat for a year and they bulked up the offensive line, they'd have been better by the time they got to starting him. Let's see, David Carr is a good example. What's a couple other good ones? Ryan Leaf was an example. I'm trying to think. This is just off the top of my head. I mean, I'm sure, that, like I said, there's examples both ways. But here's why the Washington Redskins need to start Keenum. One, I get it. Jake Gruden wants to win. He wants to win, and he wants his team to have the best opportunity to win. Case Keenum does that. Let's throw this example out there. Let's say we started Haskins. Week 1, the Washington Redskins play the Eagles. The Eagles, as much as I hate them, have a very good defensive front. And we don't have the best offensive line. So let's say we go out there against the Eagles, and our young rookie quarterback gets sacked 6 times. He has 3 turnovers, and we lose the game like 30-something to like 10. And we get our asses whipped. He's not going to have a really good, his confidence level is going to be very low. And then the next week, I believe it's week 2, it might be week 3, but week 1 or 2, let me just look it up. You know what? I'll look it up real quick. So I just looked it up. We play the Eagles first, okay? And Eagles are going to be tough. They're not going to sugarcoat it. They are a good defensive-minded team, okay? Especially the defensive line. They're going to get after them. Second week, don't like this team either. There's one of our rivals, Cowboys, but they have a good defensive front, and they're going to get after him. And in the third week, we play the Bears. So in 3 weeks, we could literally be looking at quarterbacks getting sacked almost 20 times. And if his confidence keeps going lower and lower and lower, we could be looking at over 10 turnovers within the first 3 weeks if things don't go our way right away. Okay? We got to be able to do the right things when it comes to this. You got to understand that if we were playing a softer schedule, I get it. Like, for example, if you look at the rest of our schedule and look at the rest of it, the rest of our schedule, like after the New England Patriots game, we could literally probably start Haskins, and we're not gonna have issues. We're gonna have the 49ers, Dolphins, Vikings, Bills, Jets, Lions. Who else? I think Panthers and Packers could be 2 more games we could play against them, even though both of them have pretty solid defenses. That would be the time to start Haskins, not right now. And for all you know, and this, like I said, this is just wishful thinking. For all we know, we could start Case Keenum, and he could win 3 or 4 of these first few games. So we don't know that. We don't know. I mean, we haven't really seen the real offense yet. We know the defense is good. I mean, I take a lot of weight on it whenever Rex Ryan says Washington Redskins is going to be top 3 defense this year. That carries a lot of weight with me because that guy knows defense. That guy's one of the best defensive coordinators I think the game's ever seen. That guy knows defense. And he's seen our defense firsthand. Rob Ryan is, and I'm turning this off, it keeps vibrating. Our guy, his brother is our linebacking coach. So he's seen our team a little bit, and he's heard a lot from Rob Ryan. So he really thinks our defense is top 3. I'm going to believe him until I see otherwise. So if Case Keenum comes out and we get 2017 Case Keenum when he played for the Vikings, we win 2 out of these first 5 games or 3, we're on our way. We're going to have a good season because let's do the hypothetical. Let's say we win 3 of our first 5 games. And then we play the Dolphins, 49ers, Vikings, Bills, Jets, Lions, Panthers, and Packers. That's, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games in the middle of the schedule. That's not 8 games. Hold on. Dolphins 1, 49ers 2, Vikings, Bills, Jets, Lions, Panthers, Packers. Okay, so let's say we win 6 out of those. 6 of those. So if we start season 2 and 3, and then we win 6 of the next 8, we're 8 and 6 at that point. 8 and 6. 8 and 5. I'm sorry, 8 and 5. And then our last 3 games, we have the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Eagles, and we win 2 of those. Look, we're looking at a 10-6 season. That's exactly how the schedule could play out. Okay, and I think it's definitely possible if we win 2 or 3 of our first few games, and then we at least win 6 of the next 8. We're looking at a pretty decent schedule. And then all we do, we have our rivals to end the season, and you don't know. For all we know, Carson Wentz is going to get injured again, and then we're dealing with the Eagles, and they're playing a quarterback that's not good. Nick Foles is a good quarterback. That's why he's got a big contract with Jacksonville, but Nick Foles is not there anymore. So, and they don't even have Nate Sudfeld as a backup. I don't even know who their backup is at this point. He's not a very good backup. I think it's McCown. If I had to guess, I think it's McCown. And the Giants, I don't trust the Giants. By then, they're probably starting their backup quarterback. And then the Cowboys, for all we know, the Cowboys are going to be like 12-4, and they may set their starters, and we get wins that right there. So all we got to do is come out of the first 4 or 5 games with 2 wins, potentially 3. I would be happy with 3-2. I'd be content with 2-3 because it's such a tough start to the season, playing 3 top 10 defenses right away, and we don't have an offense. We don't even know what our offense is capable of at this point. And then through the next 8 games, we win 6 of them. I'll be happy with that. I just really want to beat the Vikings this year. I really want to beat the Vikings. And then if we win 2 of our last 3 games, we're in a good spot. Okay, that's how I see the schedule playing out. So like I said, win 2 of the first 3, so we got to upset Eagles, Cowboys, Bears, or the Patriots. If we win 2 of those 3, and then we win 6 of the next 8, which I think we would probably, if I had to guess, the 49ers can give us a good game. For some reason, we have a really good track record against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, and I think the Panthers might give us trouble. For some reason, Cam Newton always gives us trouble. So that's where we're at when it comes to that. Those are the teams I think could beat us. Obviously, any team in here can beat us because it's the NFL, but the way Jay Gruden coaches is we're always on the fringe of being able to beat anyone we play. So Haskins also needs to see. So there's 2 things that you're going to learn by sitting on the bench. You're going to learn how to win and lose. Let's say we go out. Keenum goes out, has 258 passing yards, but he has 2 touchdowns. We run the ball a lot. He only attempts like 20 passes in a game, and our defense forces like 3 turnovers, and we win the game 21-10 because our defense is just that stout. He's going to learn this is the way we win in the NFL. You take care of the ball, you let your defense play for you, and then you can see the exact opposite. He could see, Keenum lose, but he's also going to see how Wentz wins the game. Wentz may be throwing like 3 touchdown passes, and they're not running the ball well, so he's got to sling it. He needs to see those things before he goes out and tries to do it. If he goes out cold, he's just going to try to play the way he's always done it, sling the football, and it's going to be bad for him. Just trust me, that's going to be bad. So I don't dislike the decision, and I actually like our chances. And then, like I predicted in our last video, I said Jordan Reed, him getting a concussion is not the biggest deal right now because he did it 2 weeks before the season. He will be out of concussion protocol before our first game. Jay Gruden said that yesterday. Whether it's true or not, I'm going to believe it. He should be out of concussion protocol before our first game, and he's on track to start in week 1. So that's good news. I think I could go over roster predictions. I think I might do that. I might just throw that in this video. Let me go through all my topics here. Trent Williams. I still say we need to trade him. I have a conversation I'm in with right now with a guy named Herb Coates. He actually used to write for DC. I think he might still write down in DC. He says we're going to keep him, and I say no. And there's also a rumor on here trading for Jadaveon Clowney. Here's my opinion on that. Fuck the Jadaveon Clowney. That guy's been riding the coattails of one big hit he had in college, and he's got an entire career built out of that. Is he a decent player? Absolutely he is. Anyone's going to look decent playing next to J.J. Watt. But when J.J. Watt was not in, their defense was not very good, and he was not as productive a player as he was with J.J. Watt in. And if we trade for him, the reason why he wants to get traded is because they're not going to extend his contract because he wants too much money. So we're going to trade for a guy who we're going to lose for a year, lose after we get him when he wants too much money anyway. The same issue we're having right now with Trent Williams. It doesn't make any damn sense. Trade Trent. Here's what I said, and I'll say this verbatim. Someone says, "Don't be a fool. Trent is really going to come back, right? He's going to help us win games. Not a chance we messed that up already." Yada, yada, yada. And it says Jadaveon Clowney wants to get traded to the Washington Redskins. It seems to indicate that he wants to get traded to the Redskins. Why would we trade for him? We have Montez Sweat. We have Jonathan Allen. We have Matt Ioannidis. Maybe we're going to trade for him and put him at linebacker. That's a possibility. That is a definite possibility. With all of our middle linebackers being hurt, maybe they think Jadaveon Clowney can play middle linebacker for us. If that's the case, maybe that's the case. But we're taking a first rounder too because he's probably not going to be with us that long, and we need another pick. That's my opinion on that. If you really want to get Jadaveon Clowney, and that's really the purpose, fine. But we're taking a second round pick or something to go along with it. If we're trading Trent Williams for Jadaveon Clowney, and his contract expires after this season, give us a second round pick, sweeten the deal or something. Personally, that's not what I want. Okay. What I personally want is this is exactly what I said in response to the message I just showed you. I told you. Trade Trent while he has value. What's what? What? Question mark. Let him come back so he can get injured, lower his trade value for next year, and we are stuck paying his salary for all this year and all of next year. Not worth it. Makes no sense. Trade him for a first and whatever else you can get. I think we get a first, a third, and a sixth. That's apparently like the deal that we can get for him. Why not trade that? Trade that right fucking now. I don't understand why the Redskins are waiting for this. Makes no sense. Yada yada. We can use the money we make from trading Trent Williams, pay Sheriff, lock him in for 5 more years, and we have an elite guard set up. We have basically most of our offensive line is locked in for the next few years. And with the draft picks, one of those draft picks, draft a offensive lineman to replace him, and then we can have for the next decade. It doesn't make sense. Why would we keep a player? First off, our team is young. Our team is very young. Aside from couple players on defense, our team is very young. We have Norman is older, Kerrigan's older, but aside from that, our whole defensive line is super young. Most of our linebacking core is super young. Most of our secondary is super young. Our receivers are really young. We don't have any old receivers on our team, except for Brian Quick if you count him. Our offensive line's young, except for Trent Williams. Young quarterback, young running back, young receivers. Most of our tight ends are young, except for Trent Williams or Vernon Davis. And Jordan Reed's not super young, but he's not old either. He's kind of like in the middle. So we have a young team. Why not get a young lineman that can grow with our quarterback and protect our quarterback for the next decade, and they can have chemistry together? Doesn't make sense. Why would we want to hang on to Trent Williams, who's one, he's old. 2, he's only got 2 years left on his deal. 3, he hasn't completed a season in like 6 years. He hasn't played a full season since 2012 or 2013 or something like that. He can't play a full season. He's injury prone. Nothing says that he's in shape. So we're going to give money to a guy that skipped all training camp, and for all we know is going to come in and he's horribly out of shape. Doesn't make sense to me. Trade the man. Get him out of our locker room. You don't know what kind of poison he's going to be in that locker room. Same thing last year when I said, as soon as Swearinger started coming out and questioning the coaching staff and things like that, they let go of him. But the reason why you do that is because when you have a person with that much vitriol towards the coach or the team, that's why they cut Mason Foster too, you don't keep that person in the locker room. You got to get rid of him. Because all he's going to do is going to spread that voice to other people in the locker room, and then the whole team is going to be dysfunctional because everyone on the team is not trusting and is tuning out the coach. That is why you get rid of that. Trent Williams is not having an issue with the coach. He's never said anything about the coaching staff. He is the training staff. Okay? So now the rest of the team is going to have an issue with the training staff because he's going to spread words about it. And then you're also going to have, he has issues, said he's never play for the Redskins again. So get rid of him. Let him go. Let him get gone, and let's get draft picks for him and move on with our franchise. This is a huge distraction that we've had all preseason. We should be focusing on the young talent we have at receivers and what they're going to do to help us. Focus on the return of Darius Geis, focusing on Haskins and Keenum and which one of those quarterbacks would be the best right now for our team. Instead, we're focusing on an old offensive lineman who needs to get over his bullshit and either come back and play. And if give an ultimatum, if he doesn't come back and play, trade him somewhere he's not going to like. Trade him to a team that's not going to win. Or trade him somewhere that is going to win. Who the fuck cares? As long as if they're going to give us a first, a third, and a 6th round pick, take it. Okay? Because next year, I guarantee you, this is what's going to happen. The Redskins are going to get rid of Alex Smith, too. That is $35 million that we're going to have on our salary cap next year. $35 million. Imagine what we can fix, what we can add to our team with $35 million. Seriously. Just think about what we can add to our team. Not even, just put the money aside. We're going to have 2 first-round draft picks next year. So we can draft an offensive lineman to replace Trent Williams. We can draft a corner to eventually replace Josh Norman. So in our first 2 picks, we're solidifying our offensive line. We're solidifying our defensive back. And then our 3rd round picks, we can start getting linebackers to help replace the middle linebacking core that's injured right now. Seriously, that's the best option. And then a 6th round pick, I mean, you can't do much with a 6th round pick, but this year's 6th round pick is going to start. Jimmy Moreland's making this team, and Jimmy Moreland will probably start before the end of this season because he is that damn good. And we got him in the 6th round. It wasn't like we got him in like the 3rd round or whatever. He is a 6th rounder, and he's one of the best defenders I've seen in this preseason. He's one of the best. He's balls to the walls, and he gets after it and plays football the way you're supposed to play football. Okay? What if we get another one of them in the 6th round? Hey, Trent Quinn was our 7th rounder last year, and he's going to be our starting slot. So the value of the draft picks is way more than having an aging, he's elite, but aging elite left tackle for 2 more years. Okay, if we started Haskins this year, I could maybe see keeping him. We're not. We're starting Case Keenum, and we have a legitimate replacement in Donald Penn, and we have a legitimate backup for Donald Penn. And if worse comes to worse, we have a lot of young offensive linemen that could do very well with a lot of experience, not at the tackle spot, but just in general blocking. Like if we had to, we could throw Wes Martin at the defensive or the offensive tackle spot to get him practice blocking guys that are really good. It would benefit him. Okay? But it doesn't benefit the team to hold on to an offensive lineman who doesn't want to be here when we can get 1st round draft pick plus something. If we just got the 1st round draft pick, I'd be tickled pink. Seriously, if we just got the 1st round draft pick, I'd be tickled pink. But we need to get rid of Trent Williams. We need to get past this and move on to just football. And with all this bullshit, we can't do that. Okay? One more trade rumor I've heard is the Redskins are looking to trade Josh Doctson. I hope we trade Josh Doctson. I hope we get something valuable. If we got a 2nd rounder for him, I'd be tickled pink. If we got a 4th rounder for him, I'd be happy. I mean, ideally, let's just say ideally what I want. Let's get a 3rd. Get a 3rd round draft pick for a receiver who's underperformed. He's always injured. He has glimpses of being good. He'll probably go somewhere else and light it up. This is the way it is. But for us, he hasn't done well, and the Redskins have pretty much. Jay Gruden has a way of like burning bridges with players where he kind of tunes them out once they don't produce. It's okay. It's not a bad thing, but we trade him, get a 3rd round pick. If we get anything for him, I'll be happy because after this season he's walking. We're not re-signing that bum. We have his replacement set in stone. I'm going to go ahead and do a roster prediction real quick. Let me get on here real quick. All right, so I got the roster pulled up here, and that's why I'm turning this way is look at my computer. Okay, at center, we're going to have Chase Roulier, and we have a backup Ross Pierce-Bacher. Ross Pierce-Bacher will be good because he can also play the guard position. So we have 2 legitimate centers that we can play. Okay, Pierce-Bacher's a rookie. Chase Roulier is from Wyoming. He's a 30-year player. So we have good young players there. Cornerback is going to be one of the trickiest ones we have. Because we have Quint. We're going to keep this is Josh Norman, Fabian Monroe. They don't even have what's his name. Jimmy Moreland. They have him as a defensive back. They don't even have him as a corner. We're going to keep him, Jimmy Moreland. Okay. So Josh, Moreland, Fabian Monroe. We're probably going to keep Greg Stroman. We're probably going to keep Quentin Dunbar. And we're not going to keep Ashton Lampkin. We probably going to keep Adonis Alexander because of how big he is. And just there's so much potential there. We're not going to keep Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. I think he's actually done pretty decent in preseason. I'm not going to lie about that. He's done legitimate, decent in preseason. He's a very solid tackler. That's probably why we got him. But I don't see him making the team. Jeremy Reeves, Deion Harris, and DJ White will not be making this team. We're going to go 6 deep when it comes to defensive backs. We may keep Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie because we're going to keep Stroman for punt returns. We're going to keep Quentin Dunbar because we invested a pick in him that we don't want to see go to waste. So I'm not keeping track of this, by the way. So I may go over on the numbers. I'm just giving a general synopsis. Defensive line. Obviously, we're going to keep... defensive line. Obviously, we're going to keep Payne, Ioannidis, and Allen. We're going to keep Tim Settle. Tim Settle will be on this team. Caleb Brantley. And who else? I don't think much else. We're going to keep anything else. I'm not going to say much. I think we're going to have other players that will play defensive line before we stick with that. Kerrigan's one of them. He'll probably bounce around to both whenever it's passing situations. Guard. Okay, so we have Wes Martin and Sheriff, and it doesn't say it here, but Eric Flowers is a guard. We've been playing him at left guard, and he's actually not bad at left guard on passing situation or running situations. It's pass blocking that's been his issue, but he'll probably start at that. Inside linebacker, the only one listed here is John Bostic. Linebacking core, kicker is Dustin Hopkins. We don't even need more than one. There's another guard here named Gerald Foster. I've never seen him play. He's a rookie out of Nebraska. I think he's undrafted. Maybe we keep him for depth. I think our offensive line will probably be a position we keep for depth. Linebacking core. John Bostic, middle linebacker. I think we keep him. Ryan Anderson, obviously, we're going to keep him. Jordan Brailford, who was a defensive end in college, so we might keep him and play him at defensive end in passing situations, like a special backing situation. I think Marquise Flowers gets cut. Sean John Hamilton, I think we keep him. I think we keep Josh Harvey Clemens. Cole Holcomb has actually been very good this preseason. I would be surprised if we don't keep him. So that's 5 linebackers. Kerrigan. I think we keep Casanova McKenzie. I don't think we keep Marcus Smith. I think we keep Montez Sweat. And that's it. Ryan Kerrigan and Brailford are both kind of flex guys that can play defensive end or outside linebackers. So that would, like I said, with Clowney, maybe we're going to trade him and play him at linebacker. That might be possible, but I don't see the point in playing him defensive end. We have defensive ends, and we have good ones that we've invested time and money and draft picks in. All right. Long snapper, Nick Suberg, done with that. He's going to make the team. Zach Karen, offensive guard, don't think so. Tony Bergstrom, I thought he got cut, to be honest, but no, I don't think so. There's a bunch of guys just say offensive line. Okay, so here's offensive tackles. Eric Flowers, Donald Penn are at OT, offensive tackle, and then Corey Robinson. Eric Flowers and Penn make the team for sure. Punter Trustway. Dwayne Haskins will be backup quarterback. Case Keenum will start. I think Cole McCoy will be on IR. We'll have him on IR. Running backs. We have a lot of running backs. So here's what I think we should do. Keeping guys for sure. Adrian Peterson. Chris Thompson. I think Bryce Love is actually on this, but he's not on this roster for some reason. So I think he's on the PUP list, physically unable to perform. So I think we actually will keep. I think we're going to get rid of Perine. I think it's run its course. I would rather see Craig Reynolds personally. So let's see Craig Reynolds and possibly Byron Marshall. But we're going to keep, like I said, Geis, Peterson. Chris Thompson's got 1 year left on his deal. Let's get what he can out of him. And then Craig Reynolds, and then maybe Byron Marshall. That's 5 running backs. Safety, Troy Apke, Landon Collins, DeShazier Everett, McIntosh, and Nicholson. I think our starting line or safeties will be Collins and Nicholson. And then I think we'll keep Troy Apke because for 1 more year to see if he improves. And we're going to keep them both. And then we're not going to keep JoJo McIntosh. Actually, no, I don't know. I don't think we will. And then tackle, John Christensen. It's between him and Penn, who starts at the left tackle. Blake Hayes, he's an undrafted guard or tackle out of Northwestern. Morgan Moses, as much as I can't stand Morgan Moses, he will start at right tackle. If he just needs to tape his hands so he can't hold anyone. That's what he needs to do. He screws us every single game. Timmy Paris, I don't think he'll make the team. So I think it'll be Morgan Moses and John Christian will make the team. And then obviously like Eric Flowers, there's a bunch. So tight ends, Vernon Davis will make the team. Jordan Reed will make the team. Jeremy Sprinkle will make the team. I personally want to keep J.P. Holtz, but we're probably going to stick with Flanagan and put J.P. Holtz on practice squad. That's what my guess is. Yeah, so we have a lot of Pittsburgh tight ends, by the way. Flanagan and Holtz are both from Pittsburgh. That's kind of weird. Receivers. Now, this is the one that gets juicy because this is going to be solely my opinion on this, okay? Solely my opinion on this. I think we keep... Our number 1 receiver is going to be McLaren. Okay, we're going to keep McLaren. Number 2 receiver has got to be Paul Richardson. We've invested too much money in Paul Richardson not to keep him. Number 3 will be Trey Quinn. Trey Quinn will be our slot receiver. I think we cut Brian Quick. Okay. I think we cut Brian Quick. I think we keep Robert Davis, Kelvin Harmon, And at 6 receiver, I mean 6 receivers, is a lot of receivers because we use a lot of tight ends in the receiving spots. Cam Sims, I think that's who we have. Injured that can't or injured football that can't play. Bryce Love, and then we have Alex Smith. And I think we cut Alex Smith next year. I really do. And that's it. Reuben Foster is injured. Josh Woodrum is injured. And Danny Johnson is injured. I think we cut Danny Johnson. I don't think we can. I don't know if we can cut him because of his injury. But that's who I think will start. Yeah. So that's pretty much the video. So mainly, first thing, shirt's pretty awesome. Let me know what you think of the shirt. Second, let me know what you think. Do you think we should trade Trent Williams? Do we should keep him? If you do think we should keep him, why? I mean, I've explained why I think we should keep him. I think we should keep him or get rid of him because he's aging. I get that he's good. Now, if we're going for a Super Bowl this year, you got to keep him. But, sorry, my mouth's very dry. I have an issue with dry mouth. I don't like do drugs or anything. I just have a very bad issue with dry mouth. It comes and goes, and when I start talking a lot like this, it seems to manifest itself a little bit more. So if I pause, my mouth's gotten very dry. I'm trying to like get a little bit of moisture in my mouth. So let me know what you think. I mean, obviously, my opinion on it's been pretty well stated. I think the why he has value. Trade him a year early rather than a year late. We trade him next year, he has less value, and we might get a third-round pick for him. We trade him right now, we get a first-round pick. If we get rid of him and we get rid of Alex Smith, and hey, we can even get rid of Josh Norman. That's $50 million next year that we can have in our bank account that we can spend on other players and other guys to make this team better, or we can extend guys we already have to better contracts to keep them long-term. We can do all those things by trading Trent Williams. Keeping Trent Williams, it doesn't stop the other two things from happening. If we don't trade Trent Williams and we keep him, obviously next year we can still get rid of Alex Smith, convince him to retire and put that money back into the fold, or we can trade Josh Norman or cut Josh Norman and save $15 million there. So there's tons of things we can do monetarily. This is just what I think would be the best option for us. What do you think? Leave your comments down below in the comment section. Like I said, what do you think of my shirt? What do you think of the Trent Williams trade? What do you think of who's going to be on our roster come day one? Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching.